Welcome to the Lemons and Pineapples podcast, the personal development podcast for folks who want more fulfillment, connection, purpose, and joy in life. I'm your host, Emma O'Brien, a no-nonsense coach, a seasoned entrepreneur, photographer, rescue dog mum, and happy life enthusiast. Each week on the podcast, I share tools, tips, and strategies, amazing guest interviews, and uplifting conversations that will help you improve all areas of your life. Let's dive in. Hi folks, a very warm welcome to season 4, episode 20 of the Lemons and Pineapples podcast. Today I have a very special guest. We're going to be talking about rebuilding self-worth after divorce, which is a really hot topic for women. So I'm really excited to introduce Isabelle Ulenaers. Isabelle is a psychologist, a trauma specialist, and a best-selling author with over 2 decades of experience guiding women through one of the most misunderstood experiences, the emotional aftermath of divorce. For most women, the hardest part isn't leaving, it's everything that follows. The unraveling, the shame, the guilt, the deliberate rebuilding of an identity that was dimmed after years of being the good wife and mother. To Isabelle, divorce is not a failure, it's a beginning, it's freedom. I can definitely agree with that one. And Isabelle has moved beyond classical psychotherapy to create a neuroscience-informed program blending psychology, coaching, EFT, EMDR, and somatic integration. Her work helps women rewire their lives, rebuild inner safety, and reclaim their untamed energy. Welcome to the podcast, Isabelle.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
What a great intro. And I'm really excited for this conversation. Let's just start with talking through. You say that divorce isn't a failure, which I completely agree with you. Often it's the beginning of a huge emancipation, I think, for a lot of women. But for women who still feel like they're a bit broken after their divorce or they feel very lost, what would you want them to understand about this moment and how really it's a portal into their power?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that when we grow up, we all learn like what we can do and what we can't do. And maybe it's culture, it's religion, it's society, whatever. And this is basically the core thing because we all learned like we can't get divorced. Like you have to try harder, you have to stick through it. It's normal that you feel this way and it's with everyone. And like we get so much noise, but our brain takes this as reality. It creates like, okay, so this is the world and this is how we have to play by the rules. And if we don't, we will be bad or we will be the bad guy. And especially when we leave also the good guy. And with the good guy, I mean like nothing is really wrong. Like he's not abusive, he's good with the kids, but you just don't feel it anymore. And then even the more that you feel like, okay, I can't do this because I'm the villain in this story. But actually, it isn't about him, it is about you outgrowing that old pattern of yours, the old created version, I call it, like the version we have to protect ourselves and to grow up in life. And then at one point, we feel like our real self who's underneath, she feels like, oh my God, I just want to get out. I just want to breathe again. I want to do me. And often we go to school and maybe to college or university or work, and then we have to have the boyfriend, and then we have to have the kids, and then we are married, and then most of the time around our 40s it's like, okay, and where am I in this story? And then is the point where we have like this old beliefs and they are guilt tripping us, and the push of, yes, but I really don't want this. And then the inner tug of war starts. And then you are like, yeah, struggling between the real you, which you don't really know it's real you, and the old version of you that wants to keep you safe. So I see this more like an identity revolution, where you have to do like almost an upgrade of your nervous system because you are outgrown that identity. It's not just him. It's not about the marriage itself. It's more like you feel what do I desire? How do I want this relationship to be like on every level? So it's more like collapsing of a role and an identity. And that's why I say like it's a portal. When you just stop there, you will repeat the same patterns. And that's why a lot of women tell me sometimes like, yeah, but I know someone and she's divorced and then she remarried and it's the same. Yeah, of course. If you don't do the inner work, you will always fall back into your default system, the old role that's protecting you. And that's why you need to do the work. And it's not a lot of work, but you just have to find, okay, but who am I underneath all these roles? And who do I want to become the moment that my old survival identity can no longer run my life? And that's why I call it like, it's not the end, but it's the beginning of something new.
100%. And I think there's a question that women aren't taught to ask themselves, which is, what do I want? Men ask
Yeah.
themselves, what do I want all the time? And I say, I'm not man bashing, but we live in a world where it really is men are allowed to go out and do the job. I know people who've kind of followed husbands round the world
Yes.
with work that they've done. And then they kind of wake up one day and say, this isn't what I wanted. But at no point was I asked what I wanted. And actually, at no point did I pipe up and say, I don't want to keep moving. I don't want to keep doing this. So, for somebody listening who's maybe resonating with the being in midlife and starting to think about what have I been doing? And actually, I'm halfway through my life. What would I like to do? What are the first steps of inner work that needs to happen to start to break out of the roles?
Well, I think some women really feel like this is not what I want and maybe do question things, but we never are allowed to listen to it. We always grow up like be the good girl, have the good grades. You're the oldest, so you have to behave. Like you're the girl, sit straight, be polite. Like we are always told what to do. And of course, it's a good thing most of the time. But we also learn take care of someone, or you have to talk with him, or he's crying, and we are. Yeah, from nature, of course, the one who is more the caregiver, the caretaker. And we have to learn that taking care of ourselves is not selfish. We're not the bad guy. We are not hurting someone else by choosing ourselves. And I think this is the first belief that a lot of women have. Like, when I do this, I'm hurting someone almost like on purpose. No, it isn't. And what you see throughout a life is that you don't lose yourself like overnight. It's something that's not dramatic. It's like just quiet. It's almost normalized. Like it's normal that you travel the world when your husband has his big job, or you stop your career, or that you take care of his parents too, or whatever. Like, it's on every level, even sexual. I know so many women who start with me. If I hear how their sexual relationship was, that I think like, oh my God, it's not okay that women still think we have to force ourselves when he wants to. We have like boundaries, and that's okay. And we never learn this in a decent way. Um, when we feel it and we check in, we know we don't feel good, but then we never learn to give it a voice or to tell and keep our boundaries. So we lose ourselves in so many different ways, like piece by piece by piece, all those micro moments. And because we never learn to listen to the body, in a moment you feel like so drained, you feel like you don't have energy. Often it's referred to, yeah, you have a burnout, but often it's just because you're so disconnected from your true self. And it can be like having friends and family and having a great time, but actually feeling lonely, or feel like, okay, I'm performing, but it's not a real match, or I'm just moving through life, but I miss true harmony for myself. So most women don't leave themselves like all at once. It's just in those tiny, almost social acceptable ways where we've been pushed to leave ourselves. And then we are called like the good wife, the good woman. You have to be good for your husband. You have to be a good mom. So you stay. And every time we just put a piece of ourselves like on the side. And that's, yeah, on the end, we look at ourselves, we look in the mirror, or you see your own pictures and you think like, where is the woman? Like, where am I? And I think it's just a very slow process.
Yeah, I think it is. It's a slow erosion, isn't it? And it's so
Hmm.
slow and so gradual. Like you said, you don't notice it until you sit and you look and you go, where did I go? Why have I been following this man around the world? Why did I not say, actually, this isn't what I want? Um,
Hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about the shame that women feel. I think specifically when you're leaving a relationship that is, and I'm for anybody listening, in inverted commas, fine. Um,
Yes.
because I think a lot of people can relate to the experience of being in a marriage that's fine. And I should be grateful for what I've got because it's fine. And then these very strange qualifiers. He doesn't hit me, he doesn't
Hmm.
cheat, he doesn't drink, he doesn't gamble. So I should be happy with that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So now we have the big prize. We should be happy. We should stay. And
Mhm.
yeah, and it is like I think this is again like a society rule or something, and that's the one I want to really break through. Like we
Mhm.
can leave even when it's fine. And I often refer to it like when someone asks you to go to like a Michelin star restaurant or something, and your best friend says like, "Oh my God, I always wanted to go there. Like it's the best food, it's delicious, it's beautiful." And you enter it, you sit down and you have the perfect chef and the perfect little meal and it looks amazing and the best bottle of wine and you're sitting there and think like, I just want a burger with fries. I don't
Mhm.
fancy this. I don't really want this. You don't say like this kitchen is not okay, the chef is not okay. No, you just feel like I'm craving burger with fries. And the whole world will tell you, but it's the best restaurant. You're so lucky. And that's the difficulty we have. Like with food, we can say no, but I just want a burger. But when it's like with a husband, we have the feeling that we are rejecting him. But it isn't. We're not telling the chef in the kitchen, like, you're a bullshit chef because I want a burger. No, we say, like, you're amazing. But
You're
this
just a
is,
bullshit husband.
yeah, that's not what we're saying. We just
No.
feel like we crave something else. And
Yeah.
in what we have as a system,
Yeah.
I don't feel it. I don't, my needs are not filled in, or how do you say it? So
Yeah.
it's just like I want to walk away from this restaurant, which is really
Yeah.
nice. I
Yeah.
know, but it's just
Mm.
not me. And I
Yeah.
think that is the biggest problem, that we never learn that it's okay. And we learn that when you do this, you're rejecting him, like you're bad, you're not good. And that's the struggle for the nice, because he's nice, he's good. And that's why
Mm.
so many women have, I think, difficulties with it. And then we have, of course, indeed the shame and the guilt. And guilt is more where you have the feeling like I do something wrong. Like I'm leaving the nice restaurant. It's wrong what I do. And this is created by, again, everything that we learned, values, like you can't do something like that. And then the shame, like the guilt is what I do, and the shame is who I am. Like
Yeah.
I must be a very bad woman or a very bad person when I leave such an amazing restaurant. Everyone wants to be here, and I want just burger and fries. What a
Mm.
bad woman am I? So you
Mm.
have both levels, the what I am doing and what I am. And that's why it's so hard. And then you feel, of course, all those things inside of your body, like the tight chest, the frozen throat, like over explaining, ruminating, overthinking, hoping that things can change, having the talk, maybe go for the counselor for the sixth time, knowing it will help nothing. Like you just want to fix it. You want to fix how things are going, because you're not giving yourself permission to say, like, I'm actually a good woman, a good person. I listen to what I want, what I need, and that's perfectly okay. And it doesn't
Yeah.
tell him that he's bad. It's just me recognizing who I am, and I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to over explain. I'm just going to accept who I am and what I want. And
Mm.
I think that is the first biggest struggle we have.
Yeah, and I really like the analogy you've made there with the burger. But I like the analogy, and I think often we end up feeling like we have to vilify the man when as a woman we say this isn't what I want anymore. And I think if you've given it your, like you say, you've given it your best shot, you've been to therapy, you've talked, and if nothing's changed, how long are you going to sit in a situation that actually doesn't serve you
Hmm.
anymore? And I
Hmm.
think it doesn't serve anybody else to be in that
No.
situation either. If you've got children, I think a lot of people have the attitude of, I'll stay for the children, and you're actually
Hmm.
staying and you're modeling to children. You're modeling as a woman that my needs don't matter as much. You have to just put up and shut up. You model to
Hmm.
both male and female children all kind of, I don't want to use the word wrong, but things that are
Hmm.
unhelpful that set them up later in life to being unhelpful. I think there's something very powerful about watching a woman make a conscious choice and watching a woman step
Yes.
into her power and do it in a considerate
Yeah.
way. You don't do a man any favors when you sit in a relationship with him thinking,
No.
if I leave, I'm going to upset him. Well, actually, we could all
Hmm.
sit and be miserable. And I think
Yeah.
as a woman, you free yourself up to have the opportunity to meet your burger and fries, if you like,
Yes.
and you free your partner up to actually go and
As
find some
well.
happiness as well.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I think the first shift you need to make. And the moment you see that, because often I tell my clients, like, do you want, like they say, like, yes, but he loves me and he tells me he loves me. Often it's also fear talking because he don't want to lose like stability. But even if he loves you, like, really, he deserves someone who loves him back in the same way. And if you just abandon yourself and staying, it's almost like you're the pet of the house. Like you stay because he wants you there for his needs, but not. I think like I saw this with my own ex. Like he has now a partner and I have two. And we both are so better persons because we both have a partner who fits us the like so good. And I'm so happy now when I see him. We even do double dates because I think it's great. Like he has a new partner, she's fantastic. And I can
Mhm.
see, like, oh my God, I'm so happy that I decided to divorce because now you can have this in your life. And it's the same for me. And
Uh,
once you can see it as an opening and a gift, that's also how you can walk out this amicably. And that it's not about a fight and ego and you harm each other. It's just like I know that we can walk out of this in a clean way and have a better life for everyone.
yeah. Yeah, and I think what I'm hearing in here as well is this piece of taking ownership of your feelings, taking ownership of, I know this is functional, but I want more than functional, and I'm actually going to allow myself to go and have that and find that and receive that.
Hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about this self-abandonment piece and how, as women, we can learn to stop doing that.
Well, I think when we, like I said, when we grow up, we learn this little by little. And
Yeah.
sometimes I just compare it with when you're like a little child and you have like a sandwich with jam or something and you throw it on the ground and it's sticky and you're so, haha, so fun. And mommy gives you back and you do it again and she gives it back and you do it again because you love the stickiness on the floor. And then she tells you one more time and you're not my friend anymore. That's
Mm,
what moms do. And then you come into, okay, the real me, I really want to throw my sandwich again on the ground, but mommy not being my friend, nah. And then you split. And of course, it's good. This is how we learn what we can and can't do and values. But the more we are like in a society or an environment where we learn what we can do and can't do and what's allowed and what isn't allowed, we abandon ourselves more and more. And we learn like we can't choose ourselves. Like some women say, like, I never had the chance to choose my own hobbies. Like my mom and dad just told me what I had to do, or I never
mm,
had the chance to choose my school or my outfit or whatever it is. Like it's not all mom and dad, it's sometimes very subtle. Um, but you learn it sometimes with even if you have friends at school and maybe one time they didn't invite you, so you learned like, oh, maybe I did this or I did that. And so step by step, especially for women, we are going to feel like if we don't please, if we don't make sure everyone is happy, if we don't make sure that we take care of everyone, maybe they will not like us. And when we are not liked and we are not loved, that's our biggest fear, because then we're not belonging. And of course, the primary fear, like from when we are still in caves, is like not belonging. Because when you don't belong, or in the past, you were in a very unsafe situation, like you could just die. And this is still a very old primary fear. So most of the things happen because we're so afraid that we don't belong. So we start to abandon ourselves more and more and more. And then goodness starts to be replaced. Aliveness starts to be replaced by goodness. Like we have to be good all the time. We have to be calm. We can't be too big, too loud. We just have to be good for everyone. And that's how we start to abandon ourselves more and more. And then we lose like our desire or self-trust or self-confidence or self-love. Like it's all, yeah, it slips a bit away because we're so focused on the external world and making sure that they love us. And that's, yeah, how we are abandoning ourselves more and more, because we try to be always good so we are accepted. And always being good doesn't mean that you're really alive, that you really feel your desire, that you really feel like, oh my God, I love my life. And it doesn't mean that you will not have bad days, like we're all human and shit happens, but it's more like the really core foundation of like, I'm in peace, I'm happy, I have maybe a relationship I love, and I'm just in love with who I am. Like when I see myself in the mirror, I recognize this woman.
Mm. What what are the kind of top three questions a woman could ask herself to start to really uncover what she wants and who she is? Because you've said, and I agree with you entirely, I think the self-abandonment piece, it's like the marriage and the relationship that's sort of not really working. It happens so gradually. How do we start to come back to ourselves? Because I think a question that I'll have my coaching clients ask is, what do I want? Because it's a question that women often just don't ask themselves, but it can feel like too big of a question, I
Yeah.
found. So
Yeah. Big.
what are your strategies for helping people really start to come back to themselves?
Well, the thing is, what do I want? You can't know when you are in the survival pattern, because this is built out of fear and out of guilt and of taking care all your old patterns. So it's a bit like being on stage and you have the script, and this is the role, and you're every night you're on the stage doing the script. Of course, if I would ask you like, what is your next script in your next play? You don't know, like you just have this script and that's the one you know by heart, like you don't know. So it's too big, and it's more like reflecting on, do I want to be on this stage? When I walk through my day, how do I feel? Am I really happy in this environment? When I had dinner with my family now, do I feel seen? Do I feel heard? Do I feel connection? Am I escaping to the bathroom and take a long hot bath, or reading a book, or watching a show on Netflix alone? Like, where do you feel the connection? Where do you feel seen? And in what little moments are you abandoning yourself? Like, are you always helping? Are you always saying yes to everything? Are you always the one who's taking care? But is it from the intention, like, yes, I really want to do this now, because of course we are not selfish bitches. We really want to help women sometimes, or men, but it's the intention. Or is it because I'm afraid that I will have conflict? Is it afraid that they will abandon me? Like, it's more to start to be very, very aware of like, what is the reason that I am doing this? And simple things like when you have to make dinner, for example, most of us ask like, what do you all want to eat for dinner tonight? And then we make that. And you go to the shop and you bring the favorite cookies for the daughter and his favorite chocolate. And like for everyone, you have something, but what you have for you. And instead of asking every night, like, what do you want to eat? Simply think like, what do I want to eat tonight? Like, and
Mm,
even when they hate it, even when they would say, oh no, not that, mommy, you make it like, I want to eat this tonight. And
mm,
it's not about being selfish, because often we think so, but it's like, I have a place too, and I can do something for myself too. And it doesn't mean that I am not listening to your needs, but my needs exist too. And it's going to maybe just the grocery and think like, do I want strawberries or do I want, I don't know, raspberries? And
Yeah.
just feel like, what is it that I want? Because I always take strawberries. Everyone wants this, but what do I want? And it's in those very little, small, stupid things that you can start to feel again, like, what is it that I want? Like, for example, one of my clients, she said, like, he was always playing his music. And I was always making his dinner, and I always had his favorite chips in the house. And we started like, okay, but what is actually your kind of music? And she really had to start just going to Spotify and listen all kinds of music to really discover like, oh, this is the
Yeah.
music I actually love. So it's with
Yeah.
little exercises. And once you calm down, like the fear and your old roles, and you break with those, then you can rebuild, because it's like breaking down the house. And when the house is down, then you can rebuild. And when you are just in an old house and you say like, okay, let's change the wallpaper and the doors, that's not your real identity. Then you're still stuck in the old pattern, and you're trying to do stuff. And this is what a lot what you hear is like, just be her, like be your best self, act
Mm.
like her. Okay, but you can have the old house and have the new furniture, but it will not feel aligned because you're still in the old pattern. So the act like her and do what you want will not work as long as you don't take away the old house and say like, okay, and now I'm going to rebuild what I want.
Yeah. I love the reframing of what do I want to do I want this? And that's
Mhm.
quite a big question to sit with, actually, because I think sometimes the reality, if the answer is no, it's quite a scary reality to sit in.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes it is no, but you choose to do it. Like, for example, when I am on a Saturday night in my couch and my parents call me and they say, can you come over immediately? There's something wrong. Of
Mm.
course, I will think, oh, I'm just in my couch. Can I stay home? But of course, I will choose, like, okay, it's my parents. There's something going on. I will go there. So it's not that we always have to do what the little voice is telling, but it's checking in and then seeing like, okay, but if I know this and this is the situation, do I really choose for this now? Or am I just going with the flow because I'm used to it? And when I tell someone no, or I have a boundary, do I think that they'd stop love me or abandon me or I don't belong? And then the intention of the behavior is like, that's the core. That's where you have to go to.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's a self-awareness is such a big piece, and I think you have to do quite a lot of work on self-understanding and being aware enough to listen to the somatic feelings of your yes and your no. I think a lot of women are very, I mean, a lot of people in general are very out of touch with what's happening from the neck down. Our bodies will tell us if there's a situation that you kind of, actually, I'm really uncomfortable here, but I'm going along with it. Why are you going along with it?
Yeah.
What's the driver behind that? And what would it take for you to not go along with it if it's not okay for you?
Mhm.
And I'm guessing that's quite a lot of the work you do with your coaching clients that you're working with.
Yeah, well, we start because the moment that you want to change something, that's when fear comes. Because of
Yeah.
course, fear is the old system that wants to keep us safe. It's the alarm of the house. So the moment that it thinks like we're changing something, the alarm goes off, and the three brains are not working together anymore, and only the middle alarm is firing. So we
Hmm.
have to learn like, okay, what is fear? How does the brain work? Fear will always be there, but it's not the truth. Like we need to learn how to work with this. And I often refer to it like I saw the movie of Rapunzel with my daughter a few weeks ago. I don't know if you've seen it.
I
Um,
haven't.
oh, you have to see it. It's a Disney Rapunzel, yeah, movie. And this Rapunzel is the one with the long hair
Yeah.
in the tower, and she's like sitting outside, dreaming of the world out there, but she's in the tower. She can't get out, and she's drawing on the walls, and she has like a fun time. She reads books and she plays games, but she's so craving to know what's outside. And then the witch, her so-called mom, comes and she says, like, I want to go out, I want to see the world. And she's like, no, it's the worst place. You have to be here. Like, they will kill you and you can't survive. And it's hard and cold. And that's fear. And she's keeping her in this tower, in the cage. And that's exactly what happens to us. Like, the moment we feel the desire, the moment we're starting to crave something, this voice comes. It's not a real us. I really tell my clients, see it like the little witch for Rapunzel or a second you, and it's whispering in your ear because it's afraid from what's out there. And it's not the truth. And you just have to know, like, it's not real. It's not real. I can go out, I can have my desires, and I will survive. And that's the first step to really know, like, I lost a bit your question, sorry, that it's not real, and
Yeah.
that you really, what you feel you can desire, you are allowed. And
Yeah.
then, sorry, that was what you said, then fear comes up, and that's what we start to work on, because when you have control over fear,
Yeah.
then you can set your boundaries, because you can't set boundaries when you're always in fear. And when you have this in place, then you can start rebuilding, like, okay, so what do I want in my life? And then we walk, yeah, towards your future.
Yeah, and I think it takes great courage to leave a marriage as somebody who you've done it. I know I've done it. And I think that the last thing really is to touch on is when is the point at which you pull the plug. And I think for everybody it's different. I know for me it was a conversation that I'd thought about and stressed about and was afraid of having for I don't know, 2 years or something. I mean, it was a long time I sat on it. And it came to the push point for me was we were about to remortgage the house. And I just thought I actually can't put my name on a joint piece of paper that because it's going to be a real mess trying to get out of this now. So,
Mhm.
and the I mean the moment is etched in my brain because it was literally a 1 minute piece of information I imparted that ended a marriage. And you have got to feel the fear and do it anyway, to quote, I think it's Susan Jeffers' book. And it will always be there. It's there when you say, I'm done, I want a divorce. It's there when you go out into the world on your own. It's there when you go out onto online dating again. But it is managing it and it's getting a handle on just being able to calm it down enough, like you've said, to say to it, you just sit quietly in the corner, little fear witch, because we're going this way and you're coming with me, but you're not allowing me to stay put where I am.
Yes, exactly. And that's why we also rewire the patterns subconsciously to break this pattern, because we all have a fear, like the fear of not being loved, the fear of being abandoned, the fear of not belong. Like, there is a core fear, and that's the one we need to change. And the moment that this clicks and you change this, then you can start to learn, okay, this is my new life. Like, I'm an adult now. Like, I don't have to take this fear with me. Of course, fear works like an onion, like layer by layer. We
Yeah,
always have fears, but
yeah,
some of them are ruling your life. And
mm,
those are the ones you have to break with. Like, it
yeah,
can't rule your life anymore.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's the hardest part, because when you're in it, you
mm,
can't you can't even imagine that
yeah,
it can be better. Like,
yeah,
some clients who want to start with me say, like, I'm so afraid of, like, how will I feel? Maybe I will have so much regret, and they can't imagine they will not have any regret, actually, if they do the work. But
yeah,
when you're in it, it's like you're in a swimming pool and you're wet and you're telling someone, no, you're actually not wet, you're dry.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no, it's not. So that's the hardest part, to really see, like, the fear is like keeping you, and you just have to move through it and break with it and know how to deal with it. And
yeah,
once you do this, you have the key. And that's
yeah,
the beautiful part. But it's the
yeah,
first step to see that you
yeah.
actually have the key. That's hard.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is something I think I can relate to, our clients can relate to, is we often don't do things because the actually the fear of how we're going to feel overrides the decision. And when you've got the nervous system regulation tools, I know you've got you've got a big arsenal of tools. When you know that you can confidently control the fear, you can proceed knowing it's going to show up, but I've got the tools to be able to handle it. So off we go. And I think that's the thing that's very reassuring if you're going to get a divorce. I mean, it's a huge, huge thing to do. And rebuild your life afterwards is having
Hmm.
those tools in place to help you really, really move forwards. Isabel, this has been a wonderful conversation that we've had today. I hope people have taken quite a lot away from it. Where can folks connect with you online and find out more about your work and your coaching?
Well, I think the most easy is just on Instagram, and they can send me a message, questions, whatever they want, and then I'll guide them from there. Just, yeah, drop in and share whatever they want. I also, everything's still personal, so I love to just have conversations, and then we'll see from there how I can support them.
Brilliant. I will pop your Instagram handle in the show notes. Just tell everybody what it is for anybody listening.
Yeah, well, it's my name, so it's a bit hard, but it's Isabelle Ulenaers, but probably they can't really write it. So
Fine. I'll pop it in the show notes. So if you like to connect with Isabel, head to the show notes and you can
yeah,
find her Instagram handle there. I'll put a direct link in and you can go and connect
just
up.
send me a DM. Yeah.
Send her a DM. Final words of wisdom for somebody who's listening, who is teetering on the brink of freeing themselves from a marriage, but they've not quite overcome the fear yet.
Well, I think the most dangerous belief we carry is the idea that our needs are negotiable and that everyone else's aren't. And it isn't. Our needs aren't negotiable. Like, I think that the moment you know, like, what I need deserves as much as attention and care, that's the first step. Like, you don't have to stay in this because it will never get better. Even if you think and you believe so, it will never get better, only worse. And this is what you have, this is what you know. And the moment that you really know, like, okay, my needs matter too, they can exist. It's not or, they can exist and you move from there, you are actually walking into a very beautiful life. But you, like you said, you have to take the responsibility and the lead in it. It doesn't happen just overnight, but you do have a very beautiful life. And it's also better for if you have kids, it's better for him. But it only works the moment that you say, my needs are non-negotiable.
Yeah, I love that. What a wonderful way to close the podcast. Isabel, thank you. It's been wonderful talking to you. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you
And
so much. It was really nice.
and thank you everybody for listening. We'll see you same time next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you've enjoyed it, please leave me a 5-star rating and a review, and make sure you share this episode with a friend who you know will also enjoy it. I'd love to connect with you on Instagram. Please drop me a DM and say hi at Emma O'Brien Coach. And for more information about coaching with me, please head to my website, which is emmaobrien.coach.com.